Welcome to the Toronto Untilt Blue Jays podcast. I'm Steve Artabello with Anthony Harris and Theo Giordano. You can find us at our website, torontountilt.com. You can find us at our Twitter, at Toronto Untilt. You can find the video of this podcast at our YouTube, Toronto Untilt. And finally, you can get the audio of this podcast anywhere that you listen to podcasts. That's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Anchor, Breaker, Bleaker, all of the things. Like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, and playoffs? Playoffs? Is this a real thing? The Blue Jays, as we stand right now, are tied with the Yankees for the second wild card. Oh my God, coming off of that Yankees series, the reason that they're tied with the Yankees is because they beat the fuck out of the Yankees this week. It was excellent. I'm just going to throw this stat out before I get to the boys. It was all over everything. This was the first time since 1908 that the Yankees were swept in a 4-game series at home where they never had the lead at any point. Theo, let's just get right to this. How fucking great is that?
What's crazy, it wasn't like we were beating them 10-0 every day. We were hitting good, but we weren't like dominating them. It was all kind of close, and they still never got a lead. The Yankees are just like, they look like they're dead in the dugout. They just look dead.
Well, except for when Luke Voigt is selling Dinger to bring them within 2 when they
get a start,
2 outs.
Unbelievable.
That was hilarious. It's like, I have no problem celebrate Dingers. It was just funny to me because it was like, really?
I think that's a fuck you to the team because I don't think he's playing a lot, and that's
he's not actually since they got Rizzo. He's not playing.
But he's doing well, though. They're just not giving him at-bats.
He's raking, and he should be DHing at least, especially considering Stanton's actually hitting, and it's not like they have outfielders that are good.
And he's been playing the field.
And Brett Gardner is Brett Gardner, Judge, and Stanton are the only outfielders they have that are doing things. Fucking Brett Gardner hit another dinger tonight. They're playing the Mets. Hopefully they lose, but I mean, the Yankees are
5-0.
So, yeah, exactly. We're recording this in between the doubleheader. Well, while the second game has started. This is Saturday. But holy shit, like that Yankee series was ridiculous. We were talking about, okay, like they need to keep winning. They need to take 3 of those games. And if they don't take 3 of those games, then, they're pretty much dead in the water and the playoffs aren't really happening. They didn't just take 3. They swept them. They beat the hell out of them. They embarrassed them.
And the Red Sox started losing, like everyone around them.
And the Red Sox started to come back to earth. The Rays are just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oakland's continued to struggle. We're getting all the help
today to Texas. Yeah, Oakland's been falling apart.
They had a huge lead. Were they at like 6-0 or something?
6-2. And it might have been 6-0, but I know it was 6-2 when I looked in like the 5th inning and it was like, shit. And then before.
Yeah, I was going to say they gave a 5 in the 8th and then 1 in the 9th, and they lost on their home field. Pretty embarrassing.
Like, before we recorded.
You can't take too many of those and just mentally be in the season still. Like, it felt like the game we had against them where it was
exactly.
We've been on the other side of those games, which just is such a different feeling, and it pushes you in such momentum. And the A's have just like had every bad break lately.
Well, that's the thing. Like for the Jays, who the bullpen would blow it, or they weren't hitting in late and close situations, or there was always something. There was always a problem. During this run, though, they're doing everything. Late and close, hitting. Springer today. Like, I guess we'll get to the Baltimore series later, but it felt like in that Yankee series, the worm finally turned, and it was, they need a clutch hit. They got it. The bullpen needs to come in and be nails. It was like when Meza came in, allowed the first 2 men to reach, and then just completely shut the Yankees down and got out of it. That was just unfucking believable. Yeah. And it just and like Simber and Richards just coming in and constantly putting up zeros. Like honestly, right now, like the bullpen, you feel good about it because you got Romano as your closer. Mays is the 8th inning guy. You trust Simber and Richards almost equally to come out at some point in the 7th. And Joaquin Soria has been great. He's been consistent.
you don't have that Brad Hand type where you're like, we can't pitch him. And this is the difference. I was listening to some Yankee fans, and they're talking about Andrew Heaney, and they're saying why are they throwing him back out there? Like, admit your mistake, cut your losses. The Jays did that very quickly. They saw Saicedo was okay. Like, he can be the Brad Hand type. We have Meza, who's very good and healthy now. We don't need Brad Hand. Got rid of him. The Yankees haven't been able to do that because of injuries and other reasons, but it just tells you, like, what a change this has been for this bullpen, that you can go to almost all of them and feel pretty decent. There's some guys you want over others, but like the way they're playing right now is like it's make you feel good about the bullpen.
We were just talking about it right now with Merriweather coming back, and he hadn't pitched since fucking April, and like it was like April 13th too. It was basically the entire season he hasn't pitched. So he's your lowest leverage type of dude. So yeah, he gave up that dinger against Baltimore, and it was unfortunate. But I mean, he hasn't pitched in months.
He made the error on the first play.
Exactly. Like, the stuff is there, and he's having issues locating the off-speed stuff. Reminds me of Nate Pearson. Looks like another guy who hasn't pitched a lot. He looked a lot better today. He had some issues, but he managed to grind through it massively, because I don't know if he couldn't have done that if they win the game today. Nate didn't look great against the Yankees. He hung a couple of sliders that got taken deep. One of them was by Lou Voigt. Like, it just... Yeah. Those are the guys that you, I guess, we were talking about this. Like in the bullpen, you have the five guys that we mentioned before. You got Romano, Meza, Simber, Richards, and Soria. Those are the guys when you're trying to lock down a lead. Nate's a guy I feel like you put in if you're up 4 or down 2 or 3 runs, and you just hope that he kind of keeps it where it is. And then, yeah, Merriweather's the guy you just throw in there when you're up 8 or down 8, and you just try to get him work to see if you can work him into being something usable for the end of the year, because he's got great stuff. It's just, who knows with him. He's always hurt.
And now you get Stripling back in that natural role. And I know he's bad today, but hopefully he works into just a better version of Trent Thornton.
Exactly. Your multiple inning relief.
Yeah, he can come in and, you know, he won't hopefully not make it too much worse, clean up some innings. Like, he won't be like a Trent Thornton where it's a complete white flag, but
exactly. Make a spot start in a doubleheader. Like, I know Hatch is doing it right now in the game that's happening right now against the Orioles. You have Hatch actually making the start, and it was Stripling that came out of the pen. And I think that's because that's Stripling's role now. Yeah, and they were bringing up Hatch literally to make this start and then to send him back down to be a starter in AAA, and God knows what he'll be next year. But now that the bullpen, you kind of feel good about it. I'm fine with that, actually, with Stripling being...
It kind of sucks for him personally. Because
but who cares?
Where you thought, like, oh, is he better than Matz? And then, like, Matz went on a crazy run, and then it's like, oh, yeah, you're just going to go on the pen now, which is good for us. But,
exactly.
Well, it's a luxury. We have a lot of good guys.
That's the depth you need. Like, I don't think Stripling is not going to be on a playoff roster in any way, shape, or form, but this is a dude that's going to be useful in September here. So it's another useful arm that you add. So, I really can't complain much about that. I'd also like to mention that Alejandro Kirk in that Yankee series just proved why he should never have been pinch hit for ever.
Do you know how funny the visual was of all those Yankee monsters hitting the ball to right field and just not being able to hit home runs? And then Kirk just flipping his wrists and just trotting around like Pablo Sanchez.
Yeah, 2.
It's amazing. One off Garrett Cole, too.
It was such a...
Also, Garrett Cole, a little bitchy with his hamstring tightness. No, he's scurred. He's scurred in his Blue Jays.
He opted out of the game.
Exactly. Listen, get me out of here. Like, it's hamstring tightness. It's not because I don't have spider tack anymore. That's not what it is. It's because my hamstring's tight.
No, we're just a great lineup. You can't handle it. It's okay.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm probably gonna be at this J series. But I got a buddy fly again. We're gonna go on an East Coast road trip, and then he might be around in the city during this Yankee series. And if we get a Garrett Cole start, I may or may not show up with a giant spider tack sign.
Man, Hatch is so bald. I didn't even know that.
Is he real? Did he just take his hat? I didn't even notice it.
When is he balding or bald?
Like it's really short at the top.
He bicked it.
Nothing there.
He had flow last year. I feel like
probably legitimate, really thin up top.
Like curly flow coming out the back of the hat. Like
he's beginning to accept it, I guess. But I wasn't expecting that.
You just got to go with the Dallas Braden. Just wear a baseball cap and grow with the lettuce. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, well, he's not a psycho like him, though. You really have to be psychotic to pull that off.
Fucking love Dallas Braden. And yes, that's very true, because I couldn't handle the skullet. I just pick it. I do the same thing that Thomas Hatch is doing. I haven't even seen it. I'm just assuming. I'm going to go by Tony's assessment, which is always dangerous, but We're gonna trust it.
Was it right as the inning ended?
Yeah, he was showing this for a check.
Oh, when he takes the for the sticky stuff check.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you guys wanted to talk about that Orioles series or the Yankee series? Just other than
you're right. Sorry.
It was amazing to watch them absolutely just embarrass the Yankees.
The Yankees, they didn't score any runs. They scored 4 in the last game, and they scored 4 in the other 3 combined.
And Vlad taking that ball that Vlad hit off Aroldis, that felt like it left Yankee Stadium in like a second and a half.
Yeah,
it had a 114 mile per hour exit velo, but that was a frozen rope right out of the stadium. It was fucking awesome.
I know.
That was just absolutely unbelievable. Anything else before we get to the Trash Birds and their Bush League manager who needs to be fired into the sun? Anything else about the Yankee series?
No. Let's talk about the last 2
Brandon
games.
Hyde, who's just a piece of shit. So the winning streak came to an end. The winning streak came to an end, and I saw something I was telling Theo before. I've never seen that before. I've seen players chirp at other players. I've seen players chirp at umpires. I have never seen an opposing manager start yelling at the starting pitcher while he's pitching to the point the starting pitcher had to step off the mound. I'm actually surprised the ump didn't get involved and tell Brandon Hyde to shut the fuck up.
I know. That was the weird thing. Everyone just kind of acted like nothing was happening. Well, no one said anything.
Well, because Robbie Ray completely alphaed him and was like, come out here. And Brandon Hyde couldn't even find his words to say, no, I'm not going to come up there. He just said,
out of here.
He just said fuck 15 times because he was afraid that, oh God, Robbie Ray might actually beat the shit out of me right here.
I saw a story where he had a perfect game once, Robbie Ray. And I think he thought one of the guys was seeing his pitches. So he just hit him.
It was the last. Would have been the last out. Yeah,
it was the last batter. I thought it was. Okay.
No, get the last 2 outs.
Is the goat. The way he looked into the dugout too, and immediately was like, "Come out here." He just stared into Brandon. Exactly. He stared right into Brandon Hyde's soul and was just like, "All right, you want to do something about it? Come out here. I'll beat your ass in front of all of your 17 fans in attendance tonight."
Well, it all started because Robbie Ray looked at them because they were all saying
they were yelling on delay. So I can understand why a starting pitcher after the Astros thing thinks that something's going on there.
Something's going on, yeah.
All of baseball is afraid of something like that. And then Theo decided to look up the home and away splits for the Orioles, which ended up being very interesting.
Yeah, it's all over Twitter right now. I don't know. I'm not going to accuse. I don't want to get into this shit.
The Orioles suck.
I mean, they also have a 770 OPS as a team against lefties, so I don't know. There's a lot to it. You can't just say,
I kind of started to think during the Ryu start that they had something because they were screaming on delay only during off-speed pitches, and then they completely stopped doing it after 3 innings because they got.
I did see a John Boy video too to kind of put this to bed.
I saw the John Boy one too, where he said they weren't swinging at his slider, and then they swing at half the sliders in that John Boy video. Yeah,
there was a few they laid off of, but it wasn't like they were just not swinging any of them.
That's honestly, normally what happens there is Robbie Ray, if you watch the original video, Robbie Ray tells DJ Stewart to shut up because he hears him yelling on delay, and he tells him to shut up. And the funny thing is, DJ Stewart wanted nothing to do with Robbie Ray because you don't hear any response. It's Brandon Hyde, and then Robbie Ray immediately the best part too is as this is happening.
They mess with them.
Well, as it's happening, though, too, he is bullying Richie Martin, just throwing fucking 95 plus up and in at Richie Martin. And when he finally K'd him and stared into the dugout, Brandon Hyde just staring at his scorecard ooh, I don't want to, don't need to pay any attention to that because I'm going to get my ass handed to me.
And speaking of managers staring and doing nothing, our manager was nowhere to be found.
Where the fuck was Charlie? Because at that point, get out of the dugout, start yelling back, tell the umpire to get involved. He's fucking with your starting pitcher who's a Cy Young candidate. Why are you going to allow Brandon Hyde to do this?
Gibby would have fought him. I know that.
Gibby would have been out there. Gibby would have broke a bottle and would have been out there ready to go. Gibby also would have been half in the bag.
It's just with this guy. It's he's not the X's and O's guy, or he's supposed to be the analytic guy, and he's none of that. And then
not with a bunch.
This happens. He doesn't do anything.
No, and then the Abad play where he just
I
decked Lourdes surrounding the bases. That was nowhere to be found.
That was ridiculous. Theo, you wanted to say something?
I'm just saying, like, the most egregious. He's the skinniest guy too. We talk about Luis Gurriel, like surprisingly slow, but he's very, very skinny. He got like flatlined. It was the most egregious play ever, and just nothing happened.
Talk about another thing I've never seen is the pitcher just wander into the baseline and then stand there and then try to stiff arm the guy who's run. Like, the funny thing too is when that happened, the ump just awarded Lourdes home plate. Like, you see him wave, and then they took a bot out. And I was messaging you guys. I'm like, did they make a pitching change or did he get thrown out for that? Like, I actually didn't know.
I think they just took him out.
It was so fucking random. I've never, like, there's two things I don't think I've ever seen happen in fucking baseball, which is like 100 million years old. It's like 150. The sport's been played for like 150 years. And I saw two things I'd never seen before.
Well, you saw the Albert Bell play, right? Running from first to second. It was a ground ball, routine double play, and the second base was right in front of him. Albert Bell blew the guy up.
Oh, those are back in the day where you could blow up the second base.
But I don't know if he got ejected or not. He just had the ball. He didn't even throw it, and Albert Bell just body checked. And he went flying because Albert Bell is a huge guy. I'm surprised you haven't seen it.
Albert Bell was a huge... I have to Google that.
Yeah.
He was a psycho, apparently.
Yeah. I saw a video recently. This is off topic, but you saw the one, Tony, I'm talking about was the when I think the ump was yelling at the manager and one of the players, and he was done with it. He went back to just start the game as the manager was yelling at him still, and they pitched the ball as the manager was screaming at him. He was calling strikes.
And he called it. He's going to call it a strike no matter what. The ball was like up here.
Way upstairs.
I actually saw that on Twitter a couple of days ago. That was from it was like a game from the 70s or 80s. Like, it was an old game, and then a fucking brawl starts right at home plate. Yeah, that was amazing. I had never seen that until whoever posted that on Twitter posted that. I was fucking dying. I was like, this is. And the funny thing is like, this was old baseball. This was the shit that happened on a regular basis.
Shit like that would happen all the time. And I guess if it wasn't in the news cycle, there was no sports center to repeat it. People would just not know about it. And
that was I love when that shit gets like tweeted into the fucking back into the public consciousness. It's amazing. Just forget how hilarious sports was back in the day.
But this is for the Orioles though. Like, this isn't the first problem we've had with them. I don't know what their deal is. Like, what? Well,
that was again fucking Brandon Hyde talking shit. I thought Alec Manoah was gonna beat his ass.
Yeah.
What's Brandon Hyde picking fights with human beings? Exactly. Like, two dudes that would absolutely whoop his ass. He's out here like, oh God.
I mean, he's an Astros guy.
Oh, no wonder he's a piece of shit.
Former Astros coach. Front office is former Astros,
So he's one of those assholes. No wonder.
That's where it comes from. Yeah.
Exactly. A piece of shit. Pay no attention to the fact that George.
Abad has been in the league a long time. Like, I've never
been in the league in 3 years. He hasn't been in the league a long time. And he's moved back. Like, Fernando Abad was a loogie who then wasn't in baseball anymore because he couldn't get lefties out. And he's back in baseball only because the Baltimore Orioles are like a AAA franchise playing in the major leagues.
I mean, I was just going to say, I haven't heard him in any controversy or anything like that before. Maybe I missed it, but like, for him to just body check someone rounding third base, I mean,
he's fucking clueless. Clueless. There's just a standard.
Into the Jays' best player, if you ask
Bush
me.
League Orioles, I call the Orioles the trash birds for a reason. They're a fucking trash organization. They're a trash team with trash players. Other than Trey Mancini, who's a great human being. Like, someone get him off of the trash birds. And Cedric Mullins, because I'm sick of watching him hit dingers against the Blue Jays.
I mean, for the past 10 years, I go back to the Jose play when the guy threw behind Jose, and then
fucking
Adam Jones defending him in center field. Yeah.
Yeah, well, oh my God, yeah. And then he basically, Jose blew his shoulder out trying to throw out one of the Young brothers. Who was the fat one that DH that was a shitty outfielder? Delman Young, that was it. Yeah. Delman Young, he tried to throw him out at first base. That was fucking hilarious.
That was his best. That was even a better bat flip that he did than the playoff game, I thought, where he just kind of just stood there and walked with the bat halfway to first base.
Oh, he chirped the entire team as he rounded the bases, too.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome. He got in everybody's face. Got in everybody's face.
I don't know what it's just, but I can't really hate the Orioles. Like, they're just so.
They're bad. They're just trash.
Never going to be good. Just trash. You're never Baltimore fans. You're watching. You're never going to be good again.
Yeah.
You're just
you had your moment with Buck Showalter. Here, let's not talk about that because I don't actually want to acknowledge Adley Rauschman and Grayson Rodriguez and some of the kids they have coming. So let's just not. They're trash now, and they're trash. Okay, they're trash. So the winning streak came to an end. The Jays ended up losing that game, and then today happened, and it was ugly. And Ryu looked phenomenal against the Yankees, and he did not have it today. And for some fucking reason, Charlie left him in with the bases juice when he came to talk to him. But Joe Settle, I love Joe Settle just completely going it on Charlie basically every time they throw back to Joe Settle, because it's just like, what the hell is he doing there? Joe Settle, who used to be a catcher in the big leagues and the minor leagues, was like, I've never seen a pitcher look at the manager and go, no, Skip, I can't get this guy. You know what I mean? Like, it was apparent to anyone watching the game today that Ryu just didn't have it today. He did not. He was getting frozen ropes hit all over the yard.
And that was the second inning?
Yep. Left him in, and then the bases were cleared on a double. I don't know who. I can't remember who hit it.
Third inning, right?
Third inning. He only went like 2 1/3 or whatever. Yeah. He was bad. And then Charlie left him in and cleared the bases. And you know what I mean? Like, Lourdes had tied it up, and then they got behind again, and then they got really behind. And this game was getting depressing. And then, of course, the Blue Jays just keep chipping away at the lead. Just keep chipping away. And we were about to talk about it. It was probably time to stop DHing George Springer. That and even in this game, I know he had a hit, but he looked like he was, Siddle said this again, it looked like he was wincing after every swing. So Lourdes, after hitting the game-tying dinger at the bottom of the fucking second inning, comes up. We thought he tied it. He thought he tied it. I think that's why that was only a single and why he ran to first base with his bat still in his, jogged to first base with his bat still in his hand. We were quite upset that Theo's left fielder didn't get to second base there, but it didn't matter.
You want to get second base there.
It didn't matter because once they put Gerard Dyson in, a couple outs, and then George Springer put them ahead. Hit that dinger. I can't believe he did it. Fucking on one leg. 70% of George Springer, as Buck said, is better than a lot of big league players, and I guess that's just what we're going to go with here.
All hands on deck, We were saying, a couple of weeks ago, we're probably not making the playoffs. We're just like, why is he still playing? But now it's like, we're a game out, We're right.
Now they're tied. Now they're tied for a playoff spot with the Yankees. You know what I mean? It's pretty fucking wild.
And no game is ever over. And some idiot in our group chat wanted to record the fourth inning of that game, by the way.
Yes, might be the guy who's not wearing a headset.
I know. But you know what part of that? I would bring the Lourdes jersey over, but I found the lucky spot to leave it because I left.
You moved it. And what happened?
We went down big in this game, moved it back, and we came back and won. So I can never move that jersey again. It's stuck on my chair over there. I can't even wear it if I want to. So I think we found the rhythm.
Oh shit! The Brewers threw a combined no-hitter. They took out Corbin Burns in the ninth for Josh Hader. So they threw a combined no-hitter.
Soft.
I'm actually surprised. He must have had 130 pitches. That's the only thing.
He must have been, yeah.
It literally 130. Because I don't know how you don't let him go back up for the ninth.
Well, how close are they in their playoff race? Are they kind of?
They're a wagon. I'm pretty sure they have that.
Because the Reds were making a run for a bit.
Yeah, but I think they have that division completely locked down. The Reds are making a run at the wild card spot. I think the Brewers.
They're good now. For a minute,
yeah, they're 12 games up.
Oh, yeah, the Brewers. The Brewers are a wagon. The Brewers have been really good this year, even though Yelich has been bad.
The one thing that I'm never going to get over, I saw someone talk about Brewers 40-1 to win the World Series before the season, and I don't bet a lot of baseball, so I just believe it. I just think about it now. It's like, damn, that's such a good bet.
I mean, they're not going to win the World Series, but
they could
just have the ticket.
I love their team.
Out on it.
Their rotation is scary, but
and the bullpen.
Corbin Burns, Brandon Woodruff, and Freddie Peralta are gross.
That's the formula. You win a World Series that way.
Yeah. God, back to the Jays though. So they took game one of the doubleheader. Their game two's happening as we speak.
Hatches through 2 innings. No damage yet.
Looking pretty good.
We can't hit this Aiken guy.
The Jays, which is they need to. They need to beat the hell out of Keegan Aiken in his 7 ERA, who they couldn't hit the last time they played. I think they lost to Keegan Aiken. That was the last time they had lost before the Robbie Ray game yesterday.
Yeah, it was the Wednesday of last week, right?
Yep. Also, score 10 runs against Jays at your own risk, because the last 2 times they've allowed 10 runs, they've won the game 11-10. Just want to point that out.
Yeah, it's a fact.
I don't know. Is there anything else you boys really want to get to?
I kind of want to talk about, because we're doing this early, and I want to talk about, like, if we do lose these next 2, like, where are you at now? Because I don't want to keep making these predictions. Like, we keep saying, like, if they don't sweep the A's, if they don't do this, and they keep kind of finding a way to stay in it, and the teams around them keep keeping them in it. So, I feel like they have to win the next 2 just to feel better about, this week in total. The Orioles stink.
You can't drop a series to a team like this. That's just the way it is. Like, if you're going to be a playoff team, and right now they're tied for the last playoff spot in the American League, you got to beat teams like this, especially when you have a series coming up against the Rays.
The White Sox just cut the deficit 7-6.
Let's go.
Come back.
We need a fucking miracle Mets run.
Your MLB's ahead of mine on my screen.
I just checked the score app. Robert had a bases clearing double.
Let's fucking go.
And the Mets
baby, it's 5-3. The Mets are coming back. The Mets are coming back.
It was 5-0 Yankees, and I think
7-2. I think it was 7-2. Okay. For the Red Sox.
Kevin Pillar RBI double. And a run scored. Wow, he's still helping us all these years later.
Who's should be our focus? I think the Yankees are our most realistic because we play them, and they have a hard schedule after this next. Yes, they have another easy one after this, and then it's very hard to end their season. So I think they're the more realistic team to pass.
And the Red Sox losing Chris Sale to COVID and continuing to have these COVID issues is massive. So I honestly, at this point, I said this wasn't a playoff team, and now they're tied for a playoff spot. So I'm gonna just enjoy the ride.
I mean, it's all about your competition for playoff teams, man. And we're getting a lot of help from our competition.
To play Oakland, to sweep them, and then have them go into a tailspin. To catch the Yankees off, to catch them off of their winning streak while they started to scuffle, and just take them out back and fucking old yeller them. Like, that was beautiful. And the fact that they got blown out by the Mets last night, and the Mets are clawing back again tonight. To do that to 2 teams that were directly ahead of you, that was things that this team wasn't doing. They weren't getting clutch hits. They're getting them. They weren't getting great bullpen performances. They're getting them. Everything is starting to come together for this team. Everything. Like, Teoscar was on a unreal tear. Teoscar cools down. Lourdes, who's been hot for a few months, is just untouchable at the moment. Like, it's ridiculous. And we said something special had to happen. Special things are happening. We wanted fun September baseball. I don't know what gets more fun than this.
I was happy.
I'm having a good time.
I was saying if the Jays get us to the NFL season, I'll be cool. And they're doing way more than that right now.
That's exactly, like, we might be seeing some October baseball. Yeah. There's a real chance of this. They're tied for a playoff spot.
Imagine a tiebreaker game with the Yankees, and then a wild card with the Red Sox, and then a series with the Rays. Holy shit! That's all possible. 5 teams are within 2 games. That's unbelievable at this point in the
season. It's amazing. It really is. I don't know how the Mariners keep fucking staying around, but the Mariners keep staying around. It's just, I can't ask for anything more in terms of, this is what we hoped. We were going to get some good September baseball, that this team was going to be entertaining, that they were going to be in a playoff fight, and that they were going to, prove that there's a reason to get excited. And that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We got a good shot right now.
They got to close this series out. You need either a win today or another win today, or a win tomorrow, win this series, move on to the next one. Just keep trucking. There's a chance that on Monday, this team isn't tied for a playoff spot. They're free and clear in a playoff spot.
Tonight could happen.
It's actually possible. If they win tonight and the Yankees lose tonight, they are free and clear in a playoff spot. which is not something I dreamed of saying.
5-4 Yankees. 5-4 Yankees.
Let's go, Mets.
Wait, we say stuff about the Mets. Their offense is back. The Yankees fixed them.
Frank was not right. Listen to KFC. That's all I'm going to say. I hope you get that reference. Anything else that you boys want to get to, or do you want to just watch this game now?
Until these teams come back. It seems like they're all just come back right now. But yeah.
I don't know if we can stretch this podcast out that long.
It takes me so long.
It's only been 3 innings in this game.
That's what I mean. Exactly. This is going to be a marathon podcast. We're going to be on here for like 4 hours. No,
the games were later.
No, exactly. But yeah. Anything else you boys wanted to get to? Because I'm almost at a loss for words here. Like, this is phenomenal. This is awesome. Like, we're watching a team fighting for playoff baseball. We're watching potentially the Cy Young. You know what I mean? You have Ohtani's going to win the MVP, but you have number 2 and 3 on the Blue Jays in Vlad and Semien. No matter how you want to put them, Vlad might win the motherfucking Triple Crown and not win the MVP. Like, that's a very real possibility. The tear he's been on. Before we even talked about this, we were talking about hell. You want to see Bo get hot at the end of the season and finish strong. That's happened. You want to see Vladdy get hot and finish strong. That's happened with a vengeance. You want to see Kurt get hot and he's look good behind the plate. Hey, and by the way, I brought this up to you guys. Danny Jansen coming into today had a 775 OPS against righties. That'll play at any position, specifically catcher. And then he had a fucking dinger today. Like, it's close to 800. Like,
wish our center fielder was doing
that. He hit a dinger the other day, but he's desperately good. He might be sub 700 OPS by the end of the season. It
is crazy though. I think we were kind of concerned about catching for a little bit. Like, the offenses that come with Danny, they've now have 2 guys. Even Reese for a bit was like on a tear. Like, it's crazy what they found at that position.
And the weird thing is like, how wild is it that we're just wondering when Santiago Espinal is going to come back to man third base?
Yes, we don't need to see too much more Lamb, but
he had a big hit today.
I was going to say he had fucking a 2-hit game and the sack fly. Right?
And stepped it up today.
And hilarious. Brevik Valera with terrible numbers, but seems to do like clutch things other than, when
he started
Charlie
this
tries
run,
to fucking pinch hit.
I will stand by that. That walk against the A's in that 8th inning.
That bloop single.
That was the next game.
It's awesome, man. Like, this is everything you could hope for. This entire team seems to be red hot. It's fun. Like, we just want to get out of here and watch the second half of this doubleheader. We can't wait. It's exciting. Anything else you boys want to add?
Tie game. White Sox tie game.
Oh my God.
Let's go! Let's fucking go! Okay.
7-run, 5-run 4th inning tie game.
Oh my God. We got the fucking White Sox breathing down the Red Sox next. We got the Mets coming back on the fucking Yankees. Let's go.
Kamar Aiken's the best pitcher ever. Other than that.
Kamar Aiken? You mean Keegan Aiken?
Oh, he's not the. Oh yeah,
Keegan. He's not Kamar.
Aiken might be a football player.
Probably.
But anyways, we gotta hit this guy today. Everything's fucking coming our way.
Thomas Hatch is doing things. So, exactly. Get excited, Jays fans. This is like, it can't get any better than this. This team was dead in the water 2 podcasts ago. Last podcast, we're just like, well, if they go on a run, and they did something that hadn't happened since 1908. Like, it's been 113 years since someone had done that to the Yankees. The Blue Jays just did it. They needed to go on a special run. You do something that hasn't happened in 113 years. I think that quantifies as special.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, thanks to Brother Valera.
I'll give it to him. Fuck it.
Yeah.
All right. So this has been it for this episode of the Toronto Until Blue Jays podcast. I'm Steve Artabello with Theo Giordano and Anthony Harris. You can find us at our website, torontountilt.com. You can find us at our Twitter, at TorontoUntilt. Cedric Mullins just hit a dinger. Whatever. It's 1-0. It was a lot worse earlier in this doubleheader. It's fine. You can find us at our Twitter, at Toronto Untilt. You can find the video of this podcast at our YouTube, Toronto Untilt. And, of course, the audio will be posted anywhere that you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Anchor, Breaker, Bleaker, all of the things. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell your friends. The Blue Jays are going to the playoffs.